Hey everybody, Will Gully with the Recruiting Lounge. Coming at you a little bit differently today from the car. I'm traveling and wanted to share a little bit about what I experienced yesterday. Yesterday, I was invited to listen in on final presentations for an NIL class. That's right, a class on name, image, and likeness. The athletic department has partnered with the business school at this one Power Five institution, and I won't name that institution, but they have a class. It's in their second year, and it is available to student athletes and students to learn more about name, image, and likeness, and how to leverage their name, image, and likenesses to pursue and achieve their goals. So. Really interesting opportunity for me to be able to sit and listen and evaluate some of these presentations and proposals. I heard from a number of students that were talking about what they wanted to do, who they wanted to partner with, long-term goals, and wanted to just quickly share one highlight or a couple highlights from those conversations. One is most of the presentations had something to do with networking and leveraging social and digital media, leveraging relationships to build their networks. It's often said, it's not who you know, it is who you know rather, that can help you get to where you want to be. But all these students were definitely talking about their network and building their network and leveraging those network to help promote themselves, help them get to where they want to be in the future. Another note was these students wanting to build their brand and build their image and looking at ways to integrate some of their aspirations with social media. One student talked about using Instagram and connecting with a major retailer, and another student talked about making sure that the people that they currently partner with, or whether it's their gyms or what have you, are helping them across their social platforms and doing some collaborations on Instagram. The professor then chimed in and said, "Hey, have you thought about TikTok and making TikTok videos?" And so it was really collaborative and a lot of communication. Students were going back and forth. When they hear the presentations, they were asking questions that I thought were really astute. And then the last thing I'd say is the professor. The professor at the end of it came to me and said, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you about doing something real. Not just academic, having a presentation, having something that the students can work on, a project that the students can work on that can actually go out to the masses." And what I find interesting is that these students were not just in athletics. One student that I listened to wanted to get into nursing. Another student wanted to go into a jewelry brand. Another student wanted to become a professional soccer player, right? So it was kind of another student wanted to be in sports PR, and so the conversation for the professor is, how do we make this NIL class a real experience, and how can I work with you, Will, to help navigate and figure out what that experience is. And I think when we get into the name, image, and likeness, there's a lot of kind of things that are out there in the marketplace. News articles you're reading. You hear anecdotes and different stories from a number of different people. But what this professor is really trying to do is make it hit home. Make it actually have an impact on the student athletes. Make them really understand what this is like. When they're talking about going to a retailer, they want the students to understand, like, hey, the retailer has specific brand guidelines that you're going to need to abide by. They have some rules, some compliance things that you're going to need to abide by. And, this is the process by which you can get gain the ability to utilize those things. They wanted to talk about like getting into a specific, the nursing student wanted to get into this hospital, this really teaching hospital, this great teaching hospital. So how are you leveraging your network? What are you doing to communicate your brand, who you are, who are you working with at the hospital? How is the hospital going to get to know you? And that's the same way that you are when you're working with a potential brand on an NIL deal. It's like, how are you communicating with that brand? How are you communicating yourself to the marketplace? How are you presenting yourself to the marketplace? All that comes into play. And so one of the things I thought the class was really great. It's interesting that this school has an NIL class. Most schools do not. This is probably one of 5 Power 5 schools that have a specific NIL class that's talking about branding, licensing, trademarks, that's talking about business and social media, that's talking about those things and talking about financial literacy. This is unique at this Power 5 school, and it's something I think more schools should look into to developing that sort of partnership. Most schools have partnerships with accounting and with accountants rather, and with financial people, and they're doing their trainings for student athletes all the time. But being able to tap into the student body, help them understand what they're hearing in the name with the NIL space, help them understand branding, help them understand social media marketing, help them understand digital media, help them understand strategy. All that stuff are good things, and these students across the board are going to utilize those things when they move forward. So I just wanted to share a little bit about this NIL class that I was able to be a part of. Thankful to this particular university for allowing me or inviting me to be a part of it, and I look forward to presenting or making some sort of project for the students in years moving forward. All right. May your day be filled with moments of grace, mercy, joy, and love. Bye now.